Today on Wilderness Academy, join me for a canoe trip in northeast Maine, all the way up by the Canadian border. It's October, it's fall, it's crisp. You're going to enjoy this video. Thanks for joining us today. Believe it or not, this used to be wide open, and the beavers have gotten in here and dammed this all up. This road, if that dam lets loose, is going to be history. Made it to my destination. I don't know if you can see the lake there through the trees, but that's where I'm going to be. Paddling across the lake here. Just had to stop and take a shot. It's just beautiful. Water's like glass. This beach looks good. The water all around me is filled with moose tracks. I don't know if these moose tracks will show up on the camera. I think this quiet little beach and cove is going to be home. Finally got in here and got the canoe packed up on this remote lake, not too far from Canada, probably about 15 to 20 miles as the crow flies. Beautiful October day. I think it's in the high 60s, and I think tonight's only supposed to get down into the low 40s, so beautiful, beautiful day for setting up camp. Didn't bring any protein with me, so if I'm going to eat tonight, I've got to catch some fish. But let's get started by getting the camp set up. I like to cook using a tripod, and I have an entire video entitled How to Trick Out Your Tripod. But I've got a fire area cleared out beneath it and a teapot hanging on it, and it'll be ready to go for tonight. Moose have been using this beach for a little roadway. As you can see, there's moose tracks all the way down through here. I built another tripod to put my water purification system on, and you'd think with as remote as we are and as pure as this water is that you'd be fine, but as you've noticed, there were moose tracks and deer tracks in the water and all over the shoreline, so they're definitely coming down and using this water. So it's always better to play it safe, and I am taking just the lake water and putting it into that top bag. It runs it down through that filter, and then that blue bag there on the bottom, that's a 6-liter bag, and I'll purify 6 liters of water. And one of the things you really want to pay attention to when you're out in the woods is make sure you stay hydrated. I had a good friend just this year on a trip with me that we let that go by, and he got into some real trouble. So make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated when you're out in the woods. That's a 3 meter by 3 meter D&D tarp. And I tried something new on this trip. I've got a Thermarest cot. I've been using the Thermarest sleeping pads for a long time. And then just a footprint to try to keep me out of the sand. And I built a little wind block in front of it and had the open sky in front of me and the view of the lake. I just went out into the woods and cut 3 branches, sturdy. You definitely want them to be sturdy because you're going to put your weight on it. And you cut them just, maybe a few inches taller than your knee. And then you wrap some lashing around the middle and spread them out. And that's as simple as it is for the bottom structure of the seat. Then you fit those 3 legs into the pockets of the seat, fold it out, and there you have a camp chair. Really enjoyable when you're sitting around the fire at night. My favorite camp chair. Out here in the canoe before dark trying to catch some fish. And I'm hoping that I do. I'm running out of time here. I still don't have any fish. It's starting to get dark. Still no fish. Well, that'll give you an idea as to how late in the game I played. But the good news is I've got 2 fish. Well, I thought I was going to get skunked tonight fishing and was headed in. I waited right till dark. But I just left the fly that I had on in the water and picked up 2. I fished till it was late. But I got 2 fish. But it is pitch black. So I'm going to go 18th century here and see if I can do flint and steel. Heavy dew came in at dark, so everything's a little damp. But it's acting like it's damp too. Come on, baby. Here we go. Really damp. When the sun went down, it'd get cold. I think it's going to be in the low 40s tonight. It's probably already high 40s. It's always amazing to me how a fire can change everything in the outdoors. This beach is damp, so I put some driftwood underneath it to allow it to breathe and to get it up off that damp sand. I took the time to split up some cedar. We have a lot of cedar in Maine. Get a nice bed of coals and then I'll put the fish on. It feels good. Coyotes are still howling all over the place. I don't know if you can hear them or not. Got a good bed of coals. And I've been cooking the potatoes and the fish. Just about done. Right before dark it looked like I was going to get skunked and have no protein to eat tonight, but caught 2 fish coming in and have some potatoes. And I haven't eaten since breakfast, so I'm hungry. Can you hear those coyotes? I hope you can hear them on this video. There's coyotes everywhere up here. One more thing here. Before we go to bed. Have a little hot chocolate. If you're out in the woods and it's going to be cold, having a hot drink right before you go to bed helps to keep you warm. And if coffee or tea keeps you up, then carry a couple of packets of hot chocolate. Having that hot drink right before you go to bed will help you sleep better. And it'll keep you warmer. Well, I'm going to sit and watch Bush TV here, and then I'm going to crawl in the sack and call it a night. See you in the morning. Woke up this morning to frost on top of the tarp. It was cold last night. There's my canoe this morning. That's an old town Katahdin. It's a fiberglass canoe. They don't make those anymore. It's 12 feet long. And it's actually 41 inches across the center, which makes it very stable for fly fishing, which is what I like to do. Fire up the MSR boiler this morning for a quick coffee. Have some coffee and knock this chill out of my bones. Just because you're in the bush doesn't mean you can't have good coffee. Beautiful morning. Cold last night. My sleeping bag was warm and I put a wool cap on. Other than the tip of my nose, I did all right. Man, it's beautiful. Hear that woodpecker behind me? Tapping out a rhythm. Still cold this morning. I'm going to build a little fire here and knock the chill out of the bones. I keep some fine shavings in my tinder kit. And those cedar shavings. There's cedar trees all over this beach. As with any successful fire, you have to prep it. I had all of this ready before I ever started. Don't rush it. Give it a chance to breathe. Don't forget your fire triangle. Every fire needs three things: fuel, oxygen, and combustion. There you go. Go out this morning. Fishermen jumping out here ahead of me. Beautiful morning. Woke up to light frost. Lake is like glass this morning. Nice thing about a canoe is you can sneak up on fish. Very stealth. I've always loved canoes. There's something about a canoe that just is so peaceful. When you're paddling solo, you use what's called a J stroke. As you can see, every time I paddle forward, the nose goes left. At the end of your stroke, you angle your blade on your paddle. Let it bring you back to the point you're headed to. Got one on. That's what you like to hear. I don't know if he's big, but he's acting like it. Big enough to pull the canoe around. Back you go, fella. It's your lucky day. Just making up some oatmeal this morning. Drizzle a little maple syrup over that. That maple syrup was just made. Sent to me by a friend in New Brunswick, Canada. Time for breakfast.